Only 20% of all product features are ever used, meaning we waste 80% of the budget we spend on building new things. That's why in today's episode, we'll uncover why are your customers only using a fraction of what you've built and how to make them more aware of your features.
So Simon, I have this weird question, right? Are you normally aware at all? Let's say you're using we're probably using 5 to 6 apps all the time out of 300 that I have on my phone. Are you ever aware of your favorite app having any updates done?
Rarely am I aware. It depends. I think everything always depends. It's like, unless it's kind of straight on the front page,
if you open the application and it's there.
Yeah, I guess over the last year or so, every single application has added in AI, and that happens to just be on the front page, so you kind of...
Oh, like WhatsApp, right? WhatsApp has added a little hovering icon that is just there.
Yeah, over the stuff that you want to see.
Over the stuff that you actually want to be using. Have you used that feature yet?
No.
I think I've tried it, and it seemed like it's almost like ChatGPT or something, but I wasn't sure why you would be using that there.
Yeah, I think I tried to search with it, and it didn't work.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's a good update.
Yeah. So what was the last feature update you recall, Anastasia?
Well, actually, I don't actually remember often the feature updates. Maybe I remember maybe I read, it was Starling. I think Starling is my favorite banking application. And I got an email from them, and they were talking about, I think it was about that you can now create savings pots that actually has some return on them. And they sent me an email, they do it really, really well, because the email is very short and very to the point. And also they repeat it in the actual platform, right? So I read the email, and then I went to the app, and it was just there when I needed it.
Yeah, I love that with Starling, because it's actually part of your journey in place, so you can then get into the application, do what you need to do, and it doesn't impact your actual journey or experience of using the product. And then when you have the time and the capacity to dig in, it's there in the right location where you need to find the new feature. And often, because they're really amazing with their understanding of their customers, they're actually giving you options which are really helpful and amazingly useful features aligned with the main thing that they do. For example, I think I'm right in saying it was Starling that kicked off with having spaces, right?
I'm not sure it was, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I think it was Monzo that had pots.
Wait, but didn't the guys that started Starling then move from there to Monzo?
I think so, but maybe it's a big question. I don't know who started it.
Okay,
yeah,
cool. But anyway, that is a great feature, right?
Yeah.
The saving buckets, same account, but you've just got buckets that you can kind of save into.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking of new features that were in that area of the app that helps with that.
Yeah, but in general, I'm literally not aware of when things happen. I think Starling is doing it the best, because whenever there's a couple of feature of updates, they send really good email listing things. So they have nice visual. And they straight away go to the value for you.
Yeah.
Right. So not just this is the new feature. They're just now you can make X amount on your saving pots. Right. So they go really with this kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the latest feature was actually savings accounts, I think.
Yes.
So on top of the space, you've got options for savings and actually to earn on that.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, cool. So how do you usually learn about new features from platforms or services? Is it from platform itself, or do you find you get suggestions from others?
Do you know what? I actually I never knew how to use shortcuts in iPhone.
Okay.
And I couldn't work it out.
I think that's apparent. I heard the I forget the name of the podcast, but the guys chatting about that is one of the most convoluted features in Apple, the shortcuts, and rarely does anyone understand how to use. Yeah, Vergecast, that's the one. Yeah, sorry, I was listening to them chatting about that,
I did
People
not
still
know how
don't
to set it
use it.
up. I literally,
I've never used it.
I never used it because I once opened it and then I didn't know how to use it. And then I actually had a developer that I worked with. He actually showed me how to use it in case somebody steals my phone. You can put it so if somebody apparently when the phone is stolen, very often what happens, the person who steals the phone, they switch off, they go onto plane mode so that you cannot track easily your phone.
Right, okay.
So what it does then, and because often you will be holding your phone, talking to somebody, so your phone will be unlocked, right? So they steal your phone, they put it on the flight mode, and then do whatever they want with your phone. But what he showed me to do is, if for whatever reason you ever switch on flight mode, it just locks your screen automatically. So I thought it was a very great use case. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I didn't discover it because it was sent to me when I remember when it came out first from iPhone, Apple. I just had no idea how to use it. So I definitely discovered a lot of features because somebody is actually showing me how to do things. Not so much from the companies actually pushing that information at me.
Yeah, I've heard Dom Norman talk about... Is it Dom Norman?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he said that a lot of Apple features are kind of hidden and you sort of need to know about them or have someone show you. It's not like you actually... They are giving you cues within the experience, you know, all the
it's
swipes
like a
and
hidden
stuff.
level.
They are like a hidden level, yeah. It's kind of interesting.
Have you ever discovered any features like by accident?
Oh yeah, I've got an interesting story. Should we name the app? Yeah, well, I think we should. So, British Airways.
By the way, we use British Airways all the time.
Yeah, we had such an interesting conversation around British Airways and why do they struggle so badly with their technology and the experience, and why do we keep using them? Well, because obviously the whole customer experience, the most of actually to go into the airport, get a fly, board, like I guess that is of a higher tier than some of the cheaper airlines, but their application, oh my god,
the whole digital experience is very, very not great.
Yeah, sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not working. Every time we're flying anywhere, I have to figure out, oh god, how am I going to get the boarding pass into my Apple Wallet? Is it working today? How many times will I need to close it before it will open?
Yeah.
And I'm like already logged in, but then I have to go to the website and log in again. I love that.
I love that when you're in the app, it loads the actual page inside the app and shows you to download the app.
Yeah, that's good.
But you're already in the app.
It's a strong approach.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah,
but anyway,
but one of my favourite features I noticed while in the app when I was struggling to figure out how to download my boarding pass, I was looking at all the options. You know, nothing was in my vocabulary that I understood to get it into my wallet. But the one thing that did pick out that caught my eye was the fact that it had the option to fax the boarding pass to myself.
And do you have a fax machine at home?
Oh yeah, I've always had one. I always have one. Yeah. No, I've never had a fax machine.
Yeah, it's a great feature. But you know what? Actually, recently I was thinking about it, and some clients, like in some areas in the world, maybe they do still use fax machines. I don't know. I recently watched something, and somebody actually had fax machine, and it got me thinking, like, is it for some specific type of customers, or they just had that features forever and they're just not updating it?
I don't know. I would really question that. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I would say if you're on your device and you're on the mobile app, seems pretty strange that you would want to fax it to you. I mean, wouldn't printing be a better solution?
Well, especially if you're like on your mobile phone, and the mobile app should know that you are on a mobile app, and then give you an option. Anyway, but should we care? Like, if the company launches something, like, how should they let us know, right? Because do you want to be like notified that something news available? Do you care?
Well, I mean, come back to the fundamentals of what makes a good piece of technology is it's actually solving a problem for me.
Right.
So all of the features should also align with that theory. And in which case, then things should be useful. But we know that it isn't an ideal world, and that often isn't the case. And often we will just receive features, or features get added to products because someone in the team thought it was a good idea, and we haven't actually done any thorough analysis to think, does this actually work for who we're using it? So
my favorite is like when I see update like we fixed bugs. Like I'm thinking, I don't really want to know about this. Like I don't care. Like you should be fixing bugs anyway, right? This is not an update for me. But let's have a talk about the why actually majority of feature updates are like go completely unnoticed, right? So the companies put a lot of money and effort to kind of constantly improve the apps and solutions that they're working on, but actually majority of the times nobody knows about it. Like literally this styling one is the only one I can recall probably in years back. Like I can't recall anything else, any kind of notification or message for me.
They have a solid understanding of the experience. So when they're serving not only is the feature aligned with the problem and useful to the customer, they're actually serving it within the experience in the right place where it's relevant. It's not interrupting. It's not on me to have a look at the email that you sent me, and I can kind of do it in my own time. So I think that they really nail how to and when to do that.
All right, well, so let's talk about like which are the why most features updates fail, right? So number one is super popular, is to show the feature update in the in-app notifications. So you get some pop-ups, banners, like especially when you are opening app and you have a massive pop-up saying, hey, we just improved something for you, but you might be in the process of doing something, right? So usually open application because you want to do something, like book a plane or whatever, and then you have in the middle of your journey you have the pop-up. Obviously majority of people will. There's also like the pop-up notifications fatigue from people, right? So we just basically ignore them. I don't know what the stats are, but I wouldn't be surprised that 80% of the pop-ups are closed without reading ever.
Well, I think anyone in Europe is now welcomed with every single website in the in this part of the world. You've got your GDPR, the pop-ups that come up. So rather than just having them automatically switched off.
Yeah, I've observed my mom. She's like not reading anything.
No.
She's like, no, or like sometimes she gets into trouble though because she clicks the wrong thing.
It's good that you can make the choice and turn them off 100%. But you think that, and then you have marketing stuff, do our survey, sign up for this, and then additional stuff. Yeah, it's not the best place.
Yeah. Another way I think companies doing it, and I said already styling, which I really like styling, how they do it, but I really care about styling because it's my bank. But majority of companies send updates via emails, and emails in general have quite a low open rate unless we make a massive effort with our headline and the reader really cares about the brand, then they probably will open it. But if you just kind of like a regular app that just and if you send the emails often as well, I think then even more so, and if people don't get value from those emails, the people will more ignore. So your updates will probably go unnoticed completely.
Yeah. It's, but it can be done really well. Like you said, Silent does that really well because they're not all the time, I think. So then you don't get sort of bored of them, and then often they do have value, so you will open them.
Yeah, totally.
Another one is onboarding product walkthroughs. So apparently only 40% of users complete product walkthroughs. That's actually quite high.
I'm surprised by that.
But most of them like exit within kind of 10 seconds.
That would be me.
Yeah, but they can be helpful, again, positioned in the right place. I did do this for one client that had a really complex tool. We changed the experience and the interface to immediately look more familiar, but there was some specifics around the tone of vocabulary, around how things were labeled and certain data sets, and it was reflective of different business types. So it was quite complex. So we had the walkthrough place that you could load it and launch it when it was appropriate for you. So
Right, so you could relaunch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it didn't necessarily happen at the beginning, but you could return to it when was appropriate for you.
So walkthrough basically is just so you open the experience for the first time platform and you cannot interact with this, but it shows you step by step what the different elements would do if you clicked on them. Is that right?
Yeah.
This is the one.
Yeah.
I basically hate those things.
Yeah.
And also, and you're right, if you have a very complex product, that's fair enough. But if it's like a simple application, you should probably make an effort to make interface so easy to understand that people can do it without the walkthroughs.
But didn't Slack do a really good job of that?
Oh yes, Slack is pretty good. But what we're saying here is the companies sometimes put the product updates in the onboarding product walkthrough.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's probably even worse then, because not only you don't want to look at the walkthrough, you also are being pushed information that not necessarily
is relevant at the right time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, okay. Yeah, so another one then with your feature updates is just having them in the release notes.
Right.
So again, that's
it's like in the App Store or somewhere.
Yeah, easily ignored. Or you're just sort of expecting to see kind of bug fixes, like you said earlier.
Well, at the one time I remember, I think it was Slack, that they had absolutely hilarious updates on App Store, and I actually went and read them just because they were really funny.
Okay, that's amazing. So they use it as like an additional piece of marketing.
That's right, yeah, and shows a bit more of the fun side of the product itself.
And also appropriate for the market, right? It's kind of quite tech savvy.
Yes.
So people will kind of...
So developers probably would read that.
Yeah. Open an understanding of the value of release notes. So yeah, it's a great like little addition.
Another way how companies sometimes trying to push updates at us and fail is through the chat prompts, right? So sometimes you go to the platform and there's some kind of like a chat already available there in case you need some help. And then it's used to notify that, hey, there was an update. So that's kind of sometimes is perceived as a spam maybe, or ignored because again it's not contextual. You come to a platform to do X and then you're being shown this, you probably automatically just close it. And similar happens to push notification in the mobile apps, right? Well, first of all, majority, like I definitely have 80 or 90% of all push notifications for all of my apps switched off, because otherwise I'll be getting notifications every 3 seconds about something very important for the company that they're trying to tell me something. But also like many users have them switched off. So iOS users have an average opt-in rate of only 43%, right? So that already, if you are planning to notify people through push notifications, there's almost 60% of them on iOS will not get that update.
Right, okay, yeah.
And also what happens then if you push it, even if they have them on, if you keep sending them irrelevant information, they're probably going to switch them off.
Yeah, it's very true. Like what do you build a native application and then you've got the advantage of those native features, like a push notification that really should be focused on value, bringing value every time to your customer. And if that feature is of value and super useful, that could potentially work.
Yeah, we should start with that. Only communicate the valuable updates.
Yeah, 100%. Another one is help centers or FAQs. So, it's like reliant on the user, so it's only kind of user initiated, so it's not necessarily proactive.
So they only will find out about updates of your platform if they go to FAQ, which is the favorite section of people in general to hang out there, or like help section, right? So only then will they find out that some updates have been done.
Yeah, and why is that a favorite section is because it's not what's the word with the FAQs? It's just because it's often like business talk and it's not really done in a manner which is easy for customers to understand or relevant to their actual like problems. That's why some of those chatbots kind of never necessarily land well. But I know when I worked with a major energy company, we did a lot of digging into what the problems were around customers kind of onboarding to them, and like originally they were just asking them to enter in information into the form field, but then when actually we dig into it, like there's a whole massive challenge around going to find the different meter readings, and like how do you do that, where do you do it, it's like where are your meters, what do the meter kind of look like, which one's energy, which one's gas, what's the important number to look at, because they're all plastered with numbers and barcodes and whatnot. So when we did that and we actually asked the team to go and find their own meters at home, we uncovered this whole like plethora of challenges around that, and then that like laid the basis for the FAQs. So we had stuff that were related specifically to different people of different like housing types and where they might be, and if they were in flats, and you know the fact that they might be in the cupboard behind, so they might need a light. So we had all of this stuff go into the FAQs, and then ended up winning like an award for kind of best customer experience stuff. So FAQs is actually an amazing place to have a really good opportunity to share stuff. Possibly not the best place for just supporting with new features though.
Yeah.
So product videos or tutorials similar to that. You know, you could have links from emails or apps. That can be a good one. I'm thinking Airtable did some great stuff with sharing new product features and tables and how they kind of worked through the emails, and they had like really nice sort of GIF animation tutorials of how those features were working, which was kind of quite cool. I really like that.
But in this case, we're talking about why the videos fail as a communication of the new features, right?
Yeah.
And so again, it depends how we deliver them. In general, people, they're like low view rates, right? In general.
It's because it's quite a big commitment to actually watch a video.
Yeah,
which I think is why the GIF worked quite well, because it just sort of ran in repeat.
Yes, and it's not so like injected in your journey.
Yeah, so a video, but then also how long is the video? Normally they're a lot longer than they need to be. So like that, you've got also social media posts. So
like letting know users that we have made updates through social media.
Yeah. Do you think that could work? Often seen by non-users.
I don't think this will work. And I think we chat about this with you, that lots of like people don't really follow companies anymore, I would say, as much. They follow other people, maybe from the company.
Possibly.
I don't know. Are you following any of your... I don't follow Starling, anywhere.
No, I think I maybe do. I think I might do.
You might do,
I might do, but it would be like, it's not...
It's probably not going to be shown to you anyway on social media, because they probably want to show you the advertising rather than updates from Starling.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a kind of limited in terms of like communication of new features.
Yeah, 100%.
And other challenges that we can see that companies quite often do when they make updates, they're trying to teach everything, up front. That this is happening in our platform, and this is happening, and this is happening, this new feature is available, and majority of people like forget. By the time they will actually arrive to that feature or where that feature is, they probably already forgotten. And also companies love talking in very complex lingo like dev talk, and people really want just really plain English, right? So with specific benefits for them. And also, I think, and we all can say that if we build something, people will, like companies assume that people will explore and find those features and be very excited. But actually people, as we know, don't care. They just want to get in, do their thing and get out, right?
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so some examples of like real life products that are doing a really great job with feature discovery. One that I really love. Well, actually, I love this platform so much, and I keep going back to it to try and use it, but I continually fail. I think it's so amazing, and I get like I've done some proper study with one chap talking about the theory of, it's like databases and how to kind of set that all up. But I still haven't done it yet. But anyway, they do an amazing job with their feature discovery. So it kind of like reveals features sort of only when they're relevant. Like now.
But what's the company?
Notion.
Oh, okay.
I said Notion.
Did you?
I'm sure I did.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so Notion do a great job
with the communicating how the features.
Yeah, they're showing you like only when relevant. Like they have like the AI suggestion. So when you kind of the text is highlighted, it's kind of like helping you to preempt or populate with templates as you're actually in the platform, which is a great way to do it like as part of the experience rather than just pinging you an email to say, oh, this new feature is added. It's actually added in a way that's kind of supported with you within the product as you're using the tool.
I remember you were like very upset of similar thing with Notes on iPhone. So it's doing the same thing. So you're typing in, and the moment you type in equals, it tries to insert some kind of equation when there is no equation.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, actually. Yeah, it was really annoying.
But you couldn't remove it. Like,
no.
It was really annoying.
Yeah, so. It was because the AI in the notes was automatically thinking it knew what I was trying to do. Yeah. And I'm not really that clever. I wasn't like trying to do anything super special with it or add stuff up. I was just formatting my notes in a way that I could easily read and scan.
Yeah.
And I was using equals as a way as just a like character in my toolset.
Yeah.
But it was automatically trying to calculate the things before the equals.
Yeah,
I was like,
it didn't make sense. So you have to be careful how you do it.
Yeah,
it's not just like, oh, let's use this functionality, but it's like how it's being implemented.
Yeah, and I think the difference between that and what Notion has done, Notion's is actually helping you to use the tool. So it's trying to pre-populate with templates and stuff and asking, is that appropriate?
Yeah,
rather than just automatically doing it.
Yeah.
I still I got a message on my laptop to download Apple AI Intelligence.
Oh yeah,
I was just like, no, I don't want it.
Scared.
I just don't want it to like disrupt.
I didn't get that message.
Working.
Maybe it's already there.
It's probably already there. It was just to turn it off. I said, no, I'm going to do it later.
Well, we'll see what happens in updates of Apple updates.
I'm your like classic, not an early adopter. I like things to work
when they work. Yeah,
to just work, so I can come in and do my stuff and get out. I don't want change. Is not good for me.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So another company that do an amazing job of new features is Duolingo.
Mm-hmm.
So
unless you're scared of the bird.
Who's that comedian that did that amazing?
I don't know, but it was like I thought like all over the internet, right? That people were like, oh, you're being like threatened by the bird. Have you done your 15 minutes today?
Because I think it was a branding exercise, and they started to deteriorate the logo
that's right,
if you weren't coming back.
Yeah. That's like a bit of a manipulation.
Yeah, they didn't. that actually didn't get received very well. But in terms of like onboarding with the product and the way that they kind of gamified onboarding, they are like they've done such an incredible job of that. It is actually really fun. I mean, and everyone says, oh, well, let's gamify
because of Duolingo. Everybody wants to do it now.
Yeah, but it makes sense in that context. It's a learning platform, a tool to learn and educate, and you kind of like want that to be fun, and they just do that beautifully in the experience and the interactions, and
and they give you like rewards so that you actually want to explore new features.
Yeah.
So it's really like natural. And okay, so let's talk about the 9 sort of hour tested and sort of tried over many years ways to educate about features without actually overwhelming and getting people pissed off about your updates, right?
Okay.
And one of them is obviously using the contextual triggers, right? So just in time education, and you just kind of like covered it a little bit
With
with
Duolingo.
with Notion, I mean.
Oh, okay,
Because
yeah.
you show it show the feature when they're needed, not during onboarding, right? So
Yeah.
then when you're doing something, show an export option only after user interacts with the database, for instance, right? Because
Yeah, I mean, like sorry, I interrupted you there.
No, that's good.
When you're onboarding somebody into a brand new product, the whole thing is like, what does this thing do? Like, what is the problem?
Yeah.
You don't want to be sharing like
You
new
don't want to
features.
be like features, yeah.
Not
You
really.
want to be like, this is how we solving your problem, right?
Yeah.
In onboarding
Yeah.
rather than anything else.
Yeah.
And so these contextual triggers, so just-in-time education, really sort of boost relevance and increase actually retention, because people like see, okay, you understand what I'm doing,
Yeah.
right? So it seems like you're intelligent application.
It seems like you
It
are
seems like,
intelligent. Yeah. Another one kind of similar to that is progressive disclosure.
Right.
I really like this, and this is this has been used sort of a lot with
I think
forms.
it's thrown around a lot, but I don't know if people actually know what it is. Can you tell us a little bit how it works?
Yeah, so this is where you don't show. I mean, a classic example is forms. So you might have a long forms. We did this for a major kind of retail bank. Instead of, they've got a long process to onboard people and KYC journeys to sort of validate who you are and security purposes and stuff. And so instead of hitting a customer with all of these forms, 20, 40, 50, what you do is you get them to go through in smaller like chunk sizes, which feel kind of manageable. So you come to the screen and you just see a small chunk of the questions that need to be answered, answer them, and then you get some more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And why is this working so well?
Well, it works well because it doesn't kind of overload you with too much information at once, and you can then sort of walk through step by step. If it's done really well, you might even be able to kind of leave and then re-enter into the journey at a later point at the same bit where you left off. So that can be like a great tool.
Mm-hmm. And so the whole concept is that you don't show everything or that you need to know for 3 steps on step 1. You show the information for step 3 on the step 3.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Another great example, I would say, and we've done it a lot with our customers, clients, when we do in-product tooltips.
Yeah.
And I've done it quite a lot whenever we are introducing, say, new element on the screen. What happens when the user comes, revisits the application again, we show them a little tooltip, just making sure they're not in the process of doing something. Yep. So it's like a little tooltip saying, but what's very important is that, so it's like a micro message anchored to UI element. So it's not abstracting your view. You can interact with it if you want, but ideally it's just like under 10 words. It's very sort of action focused. So understandable, yeah. So like say click here to filter faster, or just say filter faster here, right? So that kind of helps learn by doing rather than reading, and it's not very intrusive for people, and they don't usually get very annoyed with that, and it works really well. But one thing I want to say, with one client I worked with, and they were a huge financial company, they were introducing lots of new features, so you have to be careful not to show a lot of those tooltips in one session. So like make sure that you spread them across many sessions. So okay, session 1 you show one tooltip, on the session 2 or 3 you show another one. So you don't show 3 or 4 in just one session, because that can become like very, very annoying.
Yeah, but ultimately, like the ideal scenario would be someone understands how to use your thing without it needing explaining.
Yes, but we're talking about informing about the features, right?
Yeah,
So
okay.
there's a new feature available, let's say new way of sorting, or there's a new way of doing something, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes people will just not know that it's there by default, right? So
but if you do use like common patterns and UI elements that are not unusual, then sometimes people might discover features themselves without the addition of that.
That's very true. Yeah.
Better. Another example is that came up earlier was embedded video or GIF preview. So this is kind of like cool because, I mean, specifically like GIFs, you can keep them short silent demos that are kind of like auto playing, a bit like your kind of like tooltip or
You
in
said
modules.
that about Airtable. They used to have, I don't know if they still do it. They had those animated GIFs of like how you can change and transform the table.
Yeah, it's really
I thought
cool.
they were really beautiful.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, I think they did an amazing job of that. And it's good because it's not, you can just keep the size down, right? And it's just easier to kind of take in because a visual can be easier to communicate, especially like the complexity of an interaction. It
Yes.
might be like a few steps. So instead of having to actually read data, you can kind of show them so then they can see where it is on the UI to what they've seen in the GIF.
Another way, like I want to say, like this is maybe not necessarily a way of informing people about the new features, but it's like how you might increase the amount, like increase of like interaction with new features if you kind of like celebrate the first time use. So if let's say somebody has used the new feature, you can say some kind of, show them some kind of celebration and say, nice, you've just created your first automation or something like that. It's just kind of like little rewards that increase the usability and increases the eagerness from people to actually experiment and discover new features, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we mentioned them before, Duolingo, exactly
Yeah.
that. They've got the like little confetti and stuff that comes up, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
it's
is really cute.
a beautiful example of that. Another like super important thing that is often forgot about is just to use plain language, so like no jargon. And I mean that can be a game changer. And I mean, whenever I've worked with B2B platforms or in larger businesses, that can be something that seems so simple and obvious, but it is completely like forgotten. But that really helps you understand what it is. So an example would be connect to your calendar, like is way better than saying integrate with third-party API.
Yeah,
Which I've actually seen.
I've seen some kind of that kind of stuff. So it's like it does happen.
Yeah, confusion kills usage.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another thing you can try is doing some kind of like micro surveys. I'm not a big fan of like pushing surveys anywhere. But you can ask people, have you tried X feature, right? And if not, then you can take them to some kind of tutorial, and it turns passive users into active ones with zero kind of friction. It could be kind of interesting thing to explore. Not a big fan, but might something that actually works for you.
Yeah, I think so. Feature highlights like on empty states.
Oh, this is powerful.
I think this is a really good one and something kind of like often overlooked. So if you then you're like using blank spaces within the interface as kind of teaching opportunities.
Yeah.
So this is like, that I think the kind of like highlighting of features is best done when you're actually in the experience. So instead of like a tutorial, do this, or the video thing, or having to tick on a tooltip to open up something, it's like actually there in the space. So if you've got a blank space, it's like, here's an opportunity. No report saved yet. Try scheduling one here. And then you kind of like almost teaching by showing them actually in the experience.
Yeah, it's a much better than just showing empty screen, because empty screen doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity to utilize and educate.
Yeah, 100%.
And well, lastly, what we already said, I think with styling, I think if you send email and in-app sort of some kind of messaging, I think it's a really powerful combination, because it's kind of you've seen the email, maybe you haven't seen the email, but it's possible that you have, and you have a bit of like a reminder in the application itself or in the product. So it's massively increases chances of people actually using that feature, right?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's good. I mean, because it's all of these things are like all just different tools that can be used in different places around the experience. And like if you use them kind of wisely and consciously rather than just throwing stuff at them, they can be really powerful. So yeah, obviously email does make a lot of sense
with the message,
with the message in the
product, as a reminder. Okay,
yeah, love that.
Cool. Well, just to summarize, what we're talking about, essentially how to get across information about our features. So feature awareness is a process, it's not an event, so it's not probably users need to kind of discover, understand, and integrate the features in their kind of daily workflows, right? Also, it's important to show features when users need them, not just like randomly, not when they launch, because nobody cares really. Progressive disclosure is very important, so showing information at the right step in the bite-sized chunks, so it's much more manageable for the people to understand what we're trying to communicate with them. And the best feature communication happens when the user are experiencing the problem which your feature solves in that moment, right?
Key point there, that your feature needs to solve.
Yes, very important, because I've seen companies delivering literally a button with no value added.
Yeah.
And measure what really matters. So track not just adoption, but also put awareness and understanding at test. So with the sort of sessions with users, just see if they're actually understanding the new features that you are launching.
Yeah, I love that. Measure what actually matters by having some in-person conversations.
Yeah, that's always wins.
See what's happening. Yeah, cool. So in closing, here's like a challenge for you guys. Look at your feature communication strategy and see if you're announcing features but not seeing adoption, you might have an awareness problem. If users know about features but aren't using them, you might have a kind of perceived value issue, something to look at. And also, if adoption starts strong but drops off, you probably not found proper kind of market fit with this specific feature. So some action steps for you. Pick your most underused but valuable feature and redesign its introduction. Secondly, test contextual hints in existing workflows this week, see if that helps change things, and measure awareness, usage, and kind of understanding, then iterate based on the results. Because building great features is only half the battle. Helping users discover and adopt them is where the real value lies. Thanks for tuning into Building Great Tech. If you know someone who would benefit from this episode, please share it with us. We'd really appreciate that. Connect with us on LinkedIn and other socials. Send us a question. We're always happy to have a discussion and help where we can. And finally, if you'd like to know more, enjoyed this episode, please go to buildinggreattech.com for free guides, tips on making your platform more profitable and customer focused.